Hello friends! So recently, I was invited to a friend's house for a party, and so I wanted to bring her a nice gift, one that I knew she would appreciate, but also one that was in my style, as an etymologist. So I told her, I'll bring you a surprise gift, and I'll give you a clue. It will be made from the finest flour. Oh wow, she said, that sounds lovely. I can't wait to see what it is. So anyway, the day of the party, I come with an enormous bouquet of flowers, and when she opened the door, she was happy to see me, but also, well, a little surprised. Oh wow, flowers! These are beautiful. Glad you think so. They are nice, aren't they? And they're just as I said, from the finest flour. That's right, our words flower, F-L-O-W-E-R, and flower, F-L-O-U-R, are etymologically linked, and in fact, only diverged in meaning relatively recently. Indeed, both words were sometimes spelled the same way in Middle English and early modern English. In earlier centuries, F-L-O-W-E-R was, basically, the cream of the crop. It was the finest portion of ground grain, or, in another sense, the blossom, if you will, or if I may, what the French would call la fleur de farine, which quite literally means the flower of the flour. And so this word, flower, which was sometimes spelled with a W, and other times spelled with a U, in the 17th and 18th centuries, had multiple meanings. On one hand it meant, well, what it means today. For example, in the pastoral poem, or eglogue, of the 17th century poet William Basse. But other texts from roughly the same period confirm this second meaning, that is, the best part of the grain meaning, as well. For example, in a 1731 book on nutritional medicine, the Scottish physician John Arbuthnot described how to combine flour with water to make glue. So basically, both words are descended from a single concept, that which described the finest part of something, whether it be the finest part of the grain or the finest part of the plant. And with that in mind, we can more easily understand how both words descended from the same word, the Old French flor, which likewise meant the finest part, and which was itself descended from the Latin accusative noun florum, a derivative of the noun flus, a word that has many descendants in European languages, and one which denoted the best part, which flourishes and blossoms and stands out from the rest. And of course, the word blossom is distantly related to all words flower and flower through their common Proto-Indo-European ancestor bleh, which meant exactly that, and which, interestingly, is also the ancestor of dozens of words in multiple languages, as you can see in the chart, including ones that mean both types of flower, such as, for example, the Dutch bloem. So there you go, flower and flower, two words that stem from the same root, so to speak, and even from the exact same combination of letters, most of the time at least, until different variations of the word started being used here and there. Specifically, the alternative spelling, F-L-O-U-R, started being used in technical and commercial contexts, and F-L-O-W-E-R, with its longer spelling, became more prominently associated with the visually appealing part of the plant, and by the early 19th century, the two spellings were standardized, and it's been that way ever since. Now, at this party, well yes, I did bring a gift, which consisted of the finest flower with a W, and my friend, she did appreciate the gift, but actually she didn't get the reference, and was expecting a cake, you know, from the other finest flower, and so it was a birthday, and there was no cake to celebrate, because of my, admittedly, lame pun, which unfortunately led to a little bit of an awkward misunderstanding. But that's okay, despite my etymological faux pas, although cakeless, the party was still really fun, and fortunately, one of her other friends brought brownies, which were delicious, and another one brought cheese, which, well, what can I say, I love cheese. And speaking of cheese, it's time for dinner. Thanks for watching.